Hi guys, and welcome to Walkers Around the World. This is our first long form video about, our take on cruising. My name is Caileen and this is Brad.
Hello.
Our first topic is one that has been asked a lot. It is the difference between Carnival and Virgin. I know I am on the Carnival Facebook. You tend to stay off of that a bit, right?
Oh yeah, I don't go on those things at all.
I am on it a lot, just, lurking. I hardly ever post on them. But one of the big questions is, and people would just get murdered for asking it, is, who's done Virgin Voyages? Is it worth it? Cause,
How do they compare to each other?
yeah, how do they compare? And so we did a Virgin Voyage back in November of last year. It was our first one. And we would like to share our differences, our opinions of what we thought of it. So
Yep, and we'll go through both cruise lines. We'll compare a number of different categories as we go along, and let us know what you guys think.
yeah. All right. So the first one is going to be cost. That is the big barrier, I feel like, between Carnival and Virgin. Virgin boasts more of a all-inclusive type ordeal, whereas, Carnival, there's a lot of upcharges, as well as with a lot of the other cruise lines. So a lot of people, I feel like, get sticker shock when they look at the Virgin Voyages and they're like, I'd never do that. They're so expensive. But I just want to kind of break that down. So I went and did a quick Google search of a six-night Caribbean cruise for Virgin Voyages on a balcony versus Carnival. We're balcony people. I don't know about you guys, but we won't ever do anything lower than a balcony.
Never.
We're spoiled. But so 6 nights out of Florida, doing a few Caribbean ports for Virgin Voyages was $3,010. So with Virgin Voyages, that's going to include the tips. It's going to include essential drinks, so all your coffees. So drip coffee, soda, waters, all that good stuff. Obviously alcoholic drinks and like specialty smoothies are more. And it's also going to cover group fitness classes. It's going to cover, what am I missing?
Gratuities.
Gratuities. I think I already said, maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
It's going to cover gratuities, and the way that they structure their cruises is that it's all specialty dining too. So every single night is specialty dining, and it's not an upcharge to you. There are a few items at a few of the restaurants that you can order for an upcharge, but I'm being 100% serious when I say when you step on this ship, you could essentially spend $0 on board, because if you don't drink, which I'm not a drinker, you drink occasionally.
Occasionally, not too much.
You could essentially spend $0 if you don't want to buy excursions, which, I mean, most of the time we're at the point in our lives where we just do whatever in the port. We don't really book through
Walk around and explore. That's all I like to do, really.
Yeah, so that is the benefit. Balcony on Carnival for the same itinerary was $1,840 with the gratuities added. And as you know, if you've booked with Carnival before, every restaurant is an upcharge. Now they have like a lot of little upcharges throughout the ship. Like, remember when popcorn used to be free there for the movie nights?
Yeah,
now that's $3. Just
Yep.
little things here and there, and they're nickel and diming you. And so by the end, I mean, we usually at least, like, what's our usual onboard credit? Or not onboard credit, but what our sign and sale for like a 6-day cruise is usually about like $1,000 or something, maybe $1,500.
Maybe if you take out the onboard credit that we usually have, it's probably about $1,000.
So, I mean, at that point, it's almost even there.
Pretty comparable.
Pretty comparable, in my opinion. Let me move on to the next. The food is, I think, the reason why most of us go cruising. Is the reason why I go cruising. Do you want to start off about that?
Yeah, so just comparing the foods, like Caileen said, on the Virgin Voyages, they do have a lot more specialty restaurants, which on Carnival, I think is, their food's getting a lot better because of those specialty restaurants. But a lot of those you have to pay for, going back to the cost. On Virgin Voyages, they have, like, all the dinner is specialty restaurants, and they're all fantastic.
Oh, so good.
We've enjoyed every single one we've gone to, especially steak at just about every restaurant.
Yes, good steaks, not like the gristly crap in the dine-in MDR if you get every night. Obviously there's a few nights where it's good, but most of the time it's not great. The other difference with the dining is that, usually on the Lido deck you have that buffet style. That is not on Virgin, and I think that is just a beautiful thing. So the way that the Virgin's general dining area, like your Lido deck on Virgin, is basically like a mall food court where obviously you're not still paying for anything because it's all covered. But there's little like stations that have different foods, and you go up. You can go up and order from there, or you can just sit down and raise a flag on their little menus, and somebody will come and take your order and bring it to you. Yeah. So that's really nice. I despise the Lido deck. He knows, like, every time when I go on a Carnival cruise, I will avoid the Lido deck, especially for breakfast, like the Dickens. I will eat in the dining room like every single time I can because there's too many people and I just get too frustrated. So they have the quality of the food everywhere is like so good too. They have like a lot of little niche types of things. So they have like sushi every day you could have.
They have ramen. They have burgers, hot dogs. They have
like the little popsicle stand. I like that. The ice cream shop. Oh my gosh. So when it comes to food, Virgin's got Carnival beat, but I feel like that's like general knowledge for anybody who's done any little bit of research about cruises. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, I think that covers most of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to activities on board. Very big differences with activities on board. I guess one of the biggest differences that we haven't talked about is the fact that Virgin is adults only. So there's no kids. When it comes to activities, a lot of them are geared towards kids sometimes on the Carnival ships, whereas like we don't have to do that on Virgin at all. I will say the number of activities on board for Virgin is probably lacking compared to Carnival. I feel like depending on the sea day, especially on sea days, like Carnival has something boom, 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 boom here. But like Virgin, it's scattered here and there. They do have really fun activities like, specialty dance classes, and Carnival will have those too. But they tend to make it more of a thing and dress up and such.
Virgin's definitely tailored more towards fitness. They have a lot more fitness activities, fitness classes you can go to.
Yeah, which are all included.
Not going to find too much of that in Carnival.
Carnival classes, you do have a couple free ones, like the stretch class for like 30 minutes in the morning. But, free group fitness classes, I know a lot of people aren't going on cruises to work out, but they are really fun. Like, I usually just work out at the gym normally, but like Virgin has like this bungee class that was really fun. Although if you're going to do that, I don't advise to do it after brunch, which is what I did. And I just wanted to barf so much in that class, but I still had a lot of fun. Activities wise for quantity and kind of for quality, I feel like Carnival does a lot of silly things. Like, like the fun and like the marriage game is really funny. Now, granted, I will say there were a few shows. We only did a 4-day cruise last time. We're only doing a 4-day cruise this time. There are events on there that I didn't see last time, like the Misbehave trivia show and different shows like that. So I'll be interested to see how those compare. But overall, I'd say Carnival has them beat as far as quantity and kind of quality, depending on what you're looking for in your activities. What I hear a lot also for my next one is the party vibes. How would you say the party vibes compare from Carnival to Virgin?
I'd say they're very similar.
Yeah.
People get crazy on both boats.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say about this. How do I phrase this delicately? I mean, both people are coming to party, and full disclosure, we are not party people. Like, I mean, I can sometimes hang, but most of the time I'm in bed by like 10 o'clock, so I might not be the best person to ask about this. We will hit up deck parties with Carnival every once in a while, but like, we'll stay for a little bit and leave. I hear some parties at Carnival can get wild, and obviously one big difference that we haven't talked about is that Carnival has the unlimited drink package, which Virgin does not have a version of that. So people tend to get, I feel like, a little more schwasty on Carnival cruises, only because I feel like a lot of people want to get their money's worth. Whereas Virgin, you can get bar tab, which, I think the lowest increment you can buy is $100. And sometimes they give you like freebie, free money when you add on from there. But because of that, I feel like Virgin is a little more dialed back. There are still people who are hot mess expresses, of course, like, everywhere. And I used to be too. I'm not judging at all because, trust me, I used to get down back in the day. But Virgin does have a few times too where they give out free alcohol. So like the sail away party and maybe a few other times. Tea time, that's not free.
Oh no, we had to pay for that.
Yes, that's the difference. Tea time is free on Carnival. You have to pay for tea time on Virgin Voyages. Just a little aside.
All right, so pools between Carnival and Virgin, there's I'd say quite a bit of a difference. Virgin usually has one pool on board, whereas Carnival will have 3, 4, depending on the size of the ship.
And the pool is small on Virgin. That is probably one of the biggest complaints I hear on the Virgin pages is like that the pool sucks. It is really small. There are hot tubs throughout the ship as well, but I feel like they're in really weird areas too.
They are. There were some weird ones on the Scarlet Lady, huh?
It's not very intuitive as to where they would be. So big kudos to Carnival on the pools.
Yeah. But I'm sure that comes along with tailoring more to children. You're going to want pools for the kids to entertain themselves on Carnival cruises.
And there are no water slides on the Virgin ships, so that should be said too.
Yep.
If you're into that, sorry to disappoint, you will not find that on the Virgin Voyages.
No water slides.
Yeah. Another big disadvantage to Virgin Voyages right now is home ports, where you can sail out of. Right now, they are only sailing out of Florida and places in Europe. That will change in 2026. They have a new ship coming, and they actually outfitted it so it can do a Panama Canal transit. And then it's going to hit up a couple places on the West Coast.
It's going to go out of LA. It's going to go out of Seattle up to Alaska.
Yeah, which, oh my God, if I could do Alaska on that, I would. But we already booked for Mexico.
Yeah.
So I'll see you in Mexico, Virgin Voyages, in 2026 out of LA. But we are personally on the West Coast, so every time we book a Virgin Voyage, not only is it more expensive, we've talked about how that's worth it, but we do have to incorporate airfare. But if I'm being fair as well, our voyages on the West Coast are just limited overall. You can go to Alaska, you can go to Mexico.
Yep.
There's
or a
not
long
much.
one to Hawaii. That's about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we wanted to experience different itineraries, we would have to, for Carnival, we would have to buy tickets anyway, which we have, So, that's, it sucks right now that they're only out of Florida because, God, if they had 4-day Virgin Voyages out of LA right now constantly, I'd be like taking a vacation every other week and be like, see you, kid.
Sure you would.
With you.
Yeah.
With you.
But that comes with the age of the cruise line. Virgin's only been around for 4 years now. They started in 2020. Probably a bad time to start a cruise, but they've been making it.
Yeah, they survived, which says a lot. Like, they are really disrupting the industry, in my opinion. Yeah. But, so, on top of that, they only have, 3 ships right now.
Yep.
So, 3 ships, 4th one coming, where Carnival has,
Dozens.
But that being said, when you go on a Virgin Voyage ship, you're going to know that it's a newer ship. Sometimes, my dad was just looking for a cruise, and he was sending me the itineraries, and I was like, you do not want to go on these ships, Dad. Let me pick another. We've booked a lot of cruises on Carnival. I'm the family's travel agent, even though I'm not really a travel agent. So, I was like, you don't want those ships. Let's pick a new one. So that's one thing that's nice about booking on Virgin. The ships are, oh gosh. And I know that's probably later, but let's talk about the room differences, the tech differences. Do you want to go on about that?
Yeah, and starting off with Virgin, since they are newer ships, they offer a lot more charging options. So usually USB ports all over the room, close to the beds. Whereas a lot of Carnival ships that we've been on, there's one station you can charge everything at the desk, nothing near the beds. Well, I feel like that's changing also in some of the newer ships.
It is, or they're refitting them.
The newer ships,
Yeah.
Or when they're refitting them.
Yeah.
Size-wise, they're probably pretty comparable, right?
Room sizes?
Yeah,
I would say.
I feel like there's too much difference. Speaking of balcony specifically, on Virgin Voyages, every balcony has a hammock on it.
Almost every balcony.
Almost every balcony has a hammock on it.
There are a few. If you get an extra large... Wait, is it every balcony for sure? I think, but some are obstructed view. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Some of the extra large balconies have an obstructed view, and they won't necessarily say that. I don't think so. But I think every... I think there are maybe some rooms that don't have a hammock. So, if you're booking...
We'll check it out. We'll put it on the screen.
If you're booking, just make sure you have a hammock. But tech-wise, the Virgin ships, if you haven't seen our little video of a room tour.
Yep.
They're amazing. They have a little tablet that controls the lights and everything. They have the different modes. They have the get it on mode that closes the, obviously it's adults only, so it closes the blinds and it puts on this like little music.
Which, speaking of the room tour, we'll put a link up here.
Yes.
For a room tour.
He'll do it. I won't do any of that. But yeah. Oh, you can also like, communicate with your steward through that as well. So if you need more water, which water is always in the room, which I'm so thankful for. I'm a thirsty bitch. So water you can always get to your room. You can just ask for ice, like all that within the little tablet-y thing. So that was really nice. And I think that's kind of all. I think all the showers are rain showers.
On the Virgin ships.
Yeah, on the Virgin ships. You don't have the gross little shower curtains that stick to your butt. They're all glass doors. So yeah, the rooms, I feel like, unless you're on a newer Carnival ship, I feel like the newer Carnival ships, the XL classes are on par, aside from the tablets. Everything else are probably on par. But Virgin kind of inches them out a little bit. One thing that isn't on this list is the splurging aspect of Carnival that has Virgin. Carnival just started doing like the upgraded Excel suites and such that give a little bit of an elevated experience.
Yeah.
Virgin Voyages has Rockstar and Mega Rockstar options. All their suites, I think, are Rockstars, which gets you a whole separate area to check in. Lots of kudos. We'll go into like a whole video in a little bit about the Rockstar experience because we actually booked Mega Rockstar. I'm so excited. in October. So that's coming up here soon. We'll do a whole video about that experience versus being a normal person. But yeah, Carnival just started doing that with the XL ship. But besides that, the only like way you can get a little bit extra perks is to purchase faster to the fun, which is not always available depending on when you book. So that's a huge difference as well. If you want to treat yourself on Virgin, you can get the suite and you get like a bunch of amenities. Oh, we should also talk about the whole reason why we even tried Virgin in the first place.
The status match? Or?
Yes.
Yep.
Which was the incredible status match.
Yep. So we're platinum on Carnival. We've been cruising on Carnival for a long time, for 10 plus years now.
Yes.
So what Virgin did to try and bring people on their cruise ships is they would status match you with other cruise lines. So we got probably the second tier or third tier of...
So we booked last year. They've changed it since then, but we got the best perks ever, which is the Deep Blue Extras.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've changed it. So I'm so glad I made you go take us on this cruise because otherwise, if you status match now, you get Blue Extras. And we'll go into, I think, a whole nother video about that because I don't have the exact details. But as Deep Blue Extras, we get priority boarding. We get $10 coffee credit a day. I think we got $100 onboard credit from that. And a private little happy hour type thing where, alcohol was flowing, you know. Lots of little extras, which was, literally, we probably would have never booked Virgin if it weren't for that. Yeah. So take a look. It's not even only cruise loyalty programs. It's like a bunch of different things. So I will have you link where you can find out whether you can status match with Virgin. So you will get Blue Extras, which aren't quite as awesome as it used to be, but that's life, baby. Yep. All right. Embark, debark. Do you want to talk about that?
I'll let you go.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about it.
So the embarkation process for Virgin and Carnival, I feel like, are about the same. It's a little chaotic all the time. Again, we had the Deep Blue Extra, so we did get the priority boarding. One thing I will say is that since, I'll talk about the debark too, the one benefit to booking with Virgin is that you can have a later debarkation time. But because of that, that kind of pushes the embarkation time. The earliest embarkation times is about 1:30 p.m., which on Carnival is about 10 a.m., I think, is usually the earliest that you can start the embarkation process. But yeah, so embarkation, about the same. Lots of people, very crowded, a little bit chaotic for both, I feel like. One thing to note, so if you don't have early boarding because of the, Deep Blue Extras or Splash of Romance, which is a whole nother thing that gets you priority boarding. Sometimes the boarding times aren't until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. So that's like,
cuts a lot of time into your cruise, really.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Especially
if you're doing a short 4-day cruise.
And we had friends, that had a 4:30 booking, and they ended up getting a Splash of Romance, which is an add-on package for about $300 at the time. I don't know what it will be when you are watching this video, but it does get you the expedited boarding. It gets you some spa time. It gets you like a little bit of extras, but mainly that expedited boarding. Doesn't matter if you're with a romantic partner or not. It's kind of worth it because you can board at like that around that 1:30, 2 o'clock time. You will board after the rock stars and after the Deep Blue Extra. So the rock stars and mega rock stars go first, then Deep Blue Extras, and then Splash Romance, and then it's Gen Population. So, Debarkation, I do feel like Virgin was a little less chaotic. I know Carnival is moving towards a less chaotic version of Debarkation with the digital debark, but we didn't personally get to experience that on our last cruise. We did a Journeys cruise with Carnival, and it was a 14-day, and I feel like there was a lot of the older crowd that didn't understand the digital debark, so they just scrapped the whole thing. That's so they might be improving the debarkation system with Carnival. Hard to say. Hopefully, our next Carnival cruise is kind of a bit away. Who knows? We're always hopping on little ones here and there. So we'll report back and see if the digital debarkation process is any quicker and easier. But it's always just a poopy experience debarking because your cruise is over. But
I will say, just a disclaimer, Carnival has a lot of different ports that they cruise out of, and we've had wildly different experiences.
That is true. Oh
them.
My gosh, especially embarking. Oh, yeah. The last time was chaos.
Yes.
That's a whole.
Pure
we
chaos.
can go on that a whole nother video. Yep. But anyway, we won't bore you with that. The wearables, or your sign and sail versus. Oh, let me grab it.
You got a sign and sail over there too, don't you?
Oh, I do. Look at me. I'm such a hoarder. Okay. So with Carnival, this is your card, this is your room key, this is how you pay for everything on board. With Virgin Voyages, you get this cute little bracelet, and it does the same thing. So you tap to get into your room, you tap to pay for anything you're going to pay for is with this. So a lot of people like these because you can wear it around. In fact, I just saw that John Held, the Carnival ambassador, put on a post of like, hey, the beards want to know, what do you want for your thing? And still a lot of people said the cards, really? A big majority of people. A few people said bracelets. I don't remember what the other options were, but I personally really like the bracelets. How about you?
It was nice and convenient. You don't have to grab your phone out, your wallet out, pull your card out. You don't have to have a separate lanyard to hold your card from.
You don't have to go.
We've never been those people.
Yeah, no. The kid, yes.
The kid, yes, but not us. But yeah, having that right on your wrist where you can just tap on whatever, pay for it, just.
I have to say I was a little scared that it would come off, but it never did.
No. If you get it on there right, it stays with you.
And these cards, we've had some experiences where we've had to get our card replaced 1 or 2 times because
after only a couple days on the ship too.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm here for the bracelets versus the sign and sail cards. Casino promotions. I know a lot of people.
I'll let you talk on this because I haven't looked into this much.
I haven't either, only because we're not huge gamblers. I like the slots, but it's also the only time I will gamble, I will say, is on a cruise ship because you can get benefits from it. Okay, so Carnival's casino promotions are widely known to be, I feel like, some of the best. I know people that just get free sweets all the time. We're not those people. I wish we were, but we don't gamble
maybe
enough.
Eventually.
Yeah. But, and it's good to know, too, that whether you want to sail Virgin or Carnival and you gamble a lot on land, you can upload your information to a few different options. I know Carnival has its own little link. Maybe we can put that here to upload your land casino status. And then Virgin Voyages, I don't know if they specifically have a link, and I'm not affiliated with anybody, but there is a website called You Are Comped. I can have you put that up there too. Yep. That's one way you can, kind of see what you're eligible for Virgin. I do hear though that, Virgin's more stingier with what they're going to provide you. And I have heard that, like, when you do get a casino room through Virgin, some of your other extra benefits go to the wayside. So if you did have Deep Blue extras, you might not have that anymore because it's a comped thing. So, which I don't know if that happens on Carnival. I mean, I feel like
they
Carnival...
give you a lot if you're in a casino on Carnival. Free drinks, a lot of different stuff.
Just gonna say, like, and so they both have tiered programs, or if you hit so many points, you get certain things. Usually it's about $1,500 to $2,000 in Carnival to get free drinks. Although you got it a little earlier last time, right?
Yeah, I got it real quick last time. It was weird.
If you're spending a lot of time there, I think they just kind of give it to you. But I'm not sure that Virgin is as loosey-goosey. We'll find out and update you on our next video, or, you know, after our next cruise. Loyalty programs. We kind of talked... We didn't talk about the loyalty programs in general. Oh. Carnival, since they have been... such a long, you know, standing cruise ship.
Yeah.
I feel like we've really gotten the short end of the stick based on when we started cruising. Because, like, when we started cruising, we went on our first cruise back in, like, 2010 or something like that. 2011. And that's when we found out neither of us had been on a cruise before. Nope. And we're like, this is the life, man. We both love being on the ocean. We both love eating food. Yep. I love taking all the stairs all the time. But, so we had just decided, like, besides a few other vacations, most of our vacations have been cruises. And we stuck with Carnival because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that was back in 2010. You know, it was pretty good service. We were like, we didn't know any better. And not that Carnival's a bad cruise line by any means. Obviously, everything with 2020 cuts have been everywhere. But, like, literally every time we get to a spot that has, like, good perks, they revamp it. So the perks suck or aren't as good. So... You know, we're platinum now. They keep, you know, chiseling away at the loyalty stuff. But platinum, it takes 75 days at sea, which if, like, Virgin's was like that, it would take forever for us because it's all the way out of Florida. Like, we're so lucky we have, you know, LA, and we do a lot of 4-day cruises, a lot of little 4 days out of LA. Virgin's is based on the amount of cruises you've taken. It's not a day, you know, so you can... I don't know exactly their status. I'll have you link their loyalty status here. But it's like based on 1 cruise, 2 cruise, 3 cruise, and that's how you get the blue or deep blue extras. And that's basically their loyalty program. So one last thing I'll talk about before I ask your opinion and my opinion is the overall friendliness of the staff. I do feel like Virgin staff is paid better, and that reflects, like, they don't get tips, but you still get goods. I mean, their tips are already paid for, I should say. So they're not relying on you. You can tip extra, of course, but they're not relying on you for the tips. So that's really nice that you still get the good quality of service from the Virgin, which, I mean, I don't think we've ever had really bad service from Carnival either, but we usually always prepare gratuities. I wouldn't say always, sometimes here and there, but
I don't think that makes a difference to the service, though.
I don't think so either. So I'd say the service is, you know, pretty on par. I feel like the Virgin people feel more refreshed. Like, they might get better.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But, okay, so overall, which do you prefer?
That's really hard to say because it's, you know, depending on what you're wanting to do. Obviously, we love to cruise with our daughter. We love to take her places, let her see things, but we also love to do stuff on our own sometimes. So the occasional Virgin cruise with no kids on board that you have to worry about is pretty awesome. Yeah,
I would say if we were double income, no kids, I don't think we'd ever cruise anything besides Virgin Voyages. But
other than to see different places in the Caribbean right now.
That's true, but even then that would be a hard sell because, like, we wouldn't have kids, and just dealing with kids. Love my kid. That's all I'll say about that. But Virgin, I mean, Carnival, like, obviously, like, we can't take our kid on a Virgin voyage for a while. I have promised her for her graduation that we will go on an epic Virgin voyage because she does get a little salty when we go on these trips without her. Now, granted, this is only our second trip, so it's not like we're leaving her every weekend. But, you know, we like family time too, and that's where Carnival will always be probably the main cruise ship that we sail with, for better or worse. I mean, we love Carnival, and we're fine with everything. Like, you know, people can get really hoity-toity about it and say that they're the Kmart of the Seas, but I have no problem with them. Like, I think even though they do nickel and dime a bit, it's still less than a lot of the other cruise lines. So
for sure,
still a great one to go. So if you are no kids, go Virgin. Stay going Virgin. One thing I will say,
okay,
before I turn, because they don't have a general dining room, people can get bored of the dining option. So if you had like a 14-day transatlantic on Virgin, you only have those 5 restaurants or 6 restaurants. And that's been a complaint for people who only do Virgin. They want like menus to be refreshed and things like that.
But the same could probably be seen for Carnival, since they've been paring down their menus so much.
That's true. And like
they don't have as much variety as they used to.
Gotten to the point where we're like, you know, we've tried this all. It's okay. You know, like, we can skip dinner. We can spend the money to go to the specialty dinner tonight because we've had what they had tonight and it's not worth it. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. We're going to do some more long form content. We'll probably try to crank at least one out a week, you think?
Yeah, we'll try.
I think that's doable.
Let us know if you have any topics you would like us to cover.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.